Hello and welcome to Nintendo Review Podcast episode 34. With me, Lee, all the way in Taiwan. Weather's been cold, but it's getting better. And we're missing Darren today, but as usual, Greg is here. Hi Greg, how are you doing?
Alright, if we're doing the weather report, it's actually brilliant here today. It's beautiful. We're actually going to the beach after we finish here.
I could see the sun shining through your curtains there, yeah.
Slightly creepy since we're not on video here.
I'm psychic. And Darren's not here. He's busy recording for the National Lottery, apparently. Ooh, could be you, Greg.
Ooh.
It's not going to be me.
Actually, on that, somebody won those wee white cream eggs? Oh, maybe they probably don't do it over in Taiwan, but like they have like a promotion over here at the minute where it's like if you find a white cream egg, you can win like 10 grand.
What's a white cream egg? A Cadbury's cream egg?
Yeah, like they have wee white ones at the minute, and if you find one, you can win 10 grand. And somebody in my shop found one.
Nice.
No way.
10 grand. Yeah.
It'll never happen again.
No. What can you do?
So, as you can hear, taking over from Darren's place this week is somebody who's already appeared on one of our little special podcasts during the Nintendo Direct. It's Nick. Nick.
Hey.
Hello, welcome Nick. How are you?
I'm good. The weather's good here as well. Usually we're under a lot of snow at this time of year, but it's been sunny. The snow's all melted, so I'm happy with that.
Just to kind of tell people where we are, and in the kind of zones and time zones, here in my part of the world, in Taiwan, it is now 6:50, or about 6:45. Greg, what time is it with you in Ireland?
It's 11:15 in the morning.
There you go. And Nick, in Russia, it is?
It's 1:45 here.
Amazing.
And I've still got to go to work after this, so...
So, last week we mentioned that the transition music, we put it out to our Twitter followers and our Facebook followers, and I put my email out there to see if anybody could guess the transmission music right, and the winner was Greg. Well done. And the thing is, you didn't even say what it was, but you still got it right, because I know you got it right because your answers. So, do you remember what it was?
Are you gonna quiz me live now?
I am. What was it?
It was Wave Race 64.
It was 64. Well done. And we're going to do the same again this week. Once again, you can contact me on lee@nintendoreview.co.uk, DM our Twitter account at @Nintendo_review. Our Facebook page is Nintendo Review, all one word. And you can get on our Discord server via our Twitter and Facebook pages as well. So no longer hesitating, let's get on to the news. Okay, first bit of news is about the Untitled Goose Game. You all know about this one that appeared in one of the indies.
We do, yeah.
Are you looking forward to it?
I was actually, but I'm quite gutted it's been delayed, because when they first showed it in one of the directs last year, it looked pretty good. Silly humour. I always like silly humour. So.
Yeah, and that is the news. It was coming in Q1 2019. It has been the developer House is their name. That's a strange name. It's now planned for later in 2019. Disappointment, Greg?
To be honest, if it came out right now, I probably wouldn't feel ready to play it. So like the delay's no problem for me at all.
Is it a case of everything's been pushed back until late 2019? When late 2019 happens, there's gonna be so much. It's gonna be inundated, isn't it?
Yeah, there's gonna be so much for like a lot of people. I'm probably not quite as loaded as everybody else, because things like Fire Emblem and probably like Animal Crossing and stuff, they're not really my sorts of games, so not quite as heavy for.
Good. And you, Nick?
My wallet's not looking forward to autumn and winter.
Same here.
But yeah, the second half of the year is looking pretty good. I probably won't get everything that I want just because I won't have time, but
yeah,
lots of stuff to play.
Next bit of news is Bertil Horberg, the creator of Gunman Clive. Greg, Darren and I nearly had you buying this game. Did you pick it up?
Actually, you and Darren didn't really have me buying it, but I saw like a wee trailer video for it probably a week or two after that, and I saw like wee minecart sections and like even wee shooting sections and stuff, and it actually did look really good, and I probably will pick it up at some point.
Great game. Nick, did you ever play Gunman Clive?
I didn't, but it's one of those really cheap ones, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like £3.29, yeah, and it bundles basically on the Switch 1 and 2. But the creator now, after finishing launching 1 and 2 and bringing it to the Switch. He's bringing his newest project called Mextermination Force, which seems to have 4-player simultaneous co-op fighting against large robots that are smashing the city up. Looks fun, and if you've got Gunman Clive on your Switch, then you can actually play as Gunman Clive in the game. Interested?
Is there a trailer for it? Or I haven't seen anything about it.
Yes, there is a trailer. Yeah.
Well, I'll have to watch it after then.
It's got a
I haven't seen it either.
Okay, it's got a kind of Mega Man 11 look to it, but a little bit cheaper, being as he's a very, very small studio.
I'll have a look.
And the next bit of news, Nintendo did say he was interested in, because you do like a bit of River City, yes?
Yeah. It's the old classic from the NES.
Yeah.
And not the most fun, but the only fun I've had so far with Nintendo Entertainment System Online was when me and Smeagol from the Discord, we played River City Ransom for a couple of hours, and it was pretty fun. It was a good laugh, lots of taunting, lots of putting the little finger in, like, you know what I mean. Yeah, waving, clapping when somebody dies and all that stuff. It was pretty fun. So yeah, it's a good game, River City Ransom.
Well, they're bringing a new title to the Switch. At the moment, it's only in Japan. And it's called Downtown Ranto Kashinkyoko Mac, which is basically the River City Melee that came out, the Battle Royale special. So it's not that sprawling RPG, it's more of a kind of 4-player Battle Royale where everybody beats down in arenas, which, as soon as I found that it's that game rather than the RPG style, which I do like the NES one as well, my interest flagged straight away. How about any of you two?
Yeah, probably not. It doesn't sound as good as the original. I'll give it a look and see.
Greg, did you play the NES version?
It's probably actually one of the few NES games I actually tried very briefly on the app. It was alright. It wasn't that amazing. So I honestly don't care about this.
No, neither do I. But it's quite a good little beat 'em up. Compare it to something like the Double Dragon, which I got fond memories of. You go back to Double Dragon on the NES, and what a mess. This one, the River City on the NES, does hold up rather well. So
it runs pretty badly though in co-op. There's a lot of slowdown. That's the only problem.
And that was over online as well, wasn't it? Over internet connection.
Yeah. Well, I think it's the ROM. I think it's, if you do 2-player local as well, it's the same. I think it's just a bit of slowdown when there's two players on the screen at the same time. Still fun though. Still fun.
This one I know everybody is up to speed on, and everybody's excited for. It's the 3 Resident Evil games coming to the Switch: 0, 1, and 4. And late last week, they mentioned that they're going to be launching a little bit later than I anticipated, on May the 21st. Which ones are you picking up, boys? Greg?
Definitely 4. There's no doubt. I probably don't even care how much they charge for that one. Well, I do care, but
how much out of out of interest, how much do you think they will charge for it?
I think we kind of all had it in our heads. Like, Capcom have been selling most of the games for like $15.99 on the eShop. And I kind of had it in my head that it would probably be a similar sort of price, but I'm actually kind of scared that they're going to go a bit higher with these.
Maybe.
Did you see the retail, which is the next part of news, is that in Japan and North America, this is not happening in Europe, is that Resident Evil 0 and 1 are going to be bundled in a physical on cartridge, but then you get Resident Evil 0 on the cartridge, but you still have to download the Resident Evil 1, just like they did with Resident Evil Revelations 1 and 2, and you have to download 2. So they pull in that kind of stunt again. So we're not going to get the cartridge, the physical version of it, only digital downloads. And the retail price, it's obviously RRP, and it's I don't know if these online services know what it is, but it's $60 they're asking for that physical. So if that's any indication,
is that for all 3?
That's
for all 3 though?
No, that's for 2 of them, 0 and 1.
Shame.
That's a bit steep, isn't it, Greg?
Yep.
It is. I'm not that bored with the lack of physical one over here, because to me it kind of feels like a sort of like an almost like a virtual console sort of title, where like I feel comfortable with having those sort of things downloaded. And I'm even getting to the stage where, like, if there was, like, I see they've recently said there's a 1TB SD card coming out, or sorry, micro SD, and I start getting to the stage where it's like, maybe I want everything digitally from now on, because it is way more convenient. I don't know if I'm quite there yet.
Not 1TB.
More than the Switch,
I think,
probably.
I think they said it was something like about $400 roughly, something like that.
You'll come down
Yeah.
in 5 years' time. Nick, did
I'll not need it for another 5 years.
does this lack of physical editions bother you, Nick?
A little bit. I mean, basically everything that's been released physically, I've bought physically, except the indie titles with the limited edition ones. I've not bought any of them. I like to have the physical ones. But for this, I would probably skip it. Greg's right. It's more like a virtual console kind of thing. And if only one game's on the cartridge, then probably a waste of time.
Yeah, and which follows on is that Resident Evil 4, even in Japan and North America, they're going to be offering that as only a digital download as well. So no region will be having physical versions of Resident Evil 4 that we know of as yet.
So which ones are you getting then?
Myself, I'd like to pick them all up. 4, obviously, because I'd love to play through it again. 1, it's been such a long time, and 0, I've never played. So I think I'd have to pick up 0 just to get through it, you know.
I'm exactly the same. I'd love to go through 4 again. I'll probably get 4 out of all 3. 1, I've not played for ages. 0, I've never played. But what might be interesting is if they would do what they did with Revelations, where if you buy 1, you get the other one a bit cheaper, or the other one's a bit cheaper. If they do something like that, then I would be interested in getting all 4. But for now, only 4, probably. All 3, sorry.
Buy 2, get 1 free would be nice.
Zero's the one I'm least interested in getting, but that's because I had a bit of a bad experience with it in the GameCube. I was only through it once, and I actually had to cheat my way through the latter part of the game because I don't know how I just didn't have enough bullets left, or I was just finding it too difficult. But I just really struggled, and I think I was lucky enough to have. There was a magazine that used to come out in the UK called Cube Magazine, and they came with discs, like wee mini action replay discs that you could put in your GameCube, and they came with like a selection of games every month, and one month it just happened to have Resident Evil 0, and you were able to use like infinite health or something, so I was actually able to beat it. But I would like to beat the game legitimately if possible.
Even in Resident Evil 1, you know, the HD, there were times when your ammo would go rather low, but never to the point of running out. Another big game, boys, Saints Row the Third. Interested in this one?
Probably get it because I would like a GTA kind of game, and I don't think GTA is going to come. So I played the first Saints Row and it was pretty good, but I've not played any of the other ones. Although I've heard they get crazier and crazier. The second one had a little bit of crazy stuff in it. The third one apparently is completely insane. In a good way.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of pictures of it, and it does look absolutely off the wall. And this one's called the Full Package. Will be with us on May the 10th, and they had the cheek to call it the Full Package and leave out 2 of the DLC packs. Which doesn't really bother me. I mean, apparently those 2 DLC packs break the game, so I'm very interested in it. I'd like to see how it runs. Nick seems like he's interested in it. Greg?
Like Nick, I think we're getting past the stage where like Grand Theft Auto 5 feels like a possibility. I think that time's passed. I don't know about Saints Row. To be honest, I've never actually really been into Grand Theft Auto, so knowing that this is probably like in the similar sort of area, I'm not feeling that excited for it either.
If you played the first one, Nick, is there a lot of similarity between GTA? Are there a lot of Rockstar follow the arrow to the objective kind of things?
You're talking 10 years ago now. I think, as far as I remember, in the first one, it was basically a GTA clone.
Yeah.
Like they tried to copy the whole sort of style and setup of GTA.
Yeah.
And then with the sequels, they kind of developed their own
Madcap
sort of style. Yeah. But yeah, in the first one, it was similar to GTA, very similar, as I remember.
I'm still interested anyway. We'll see how it's running on the Switch. Another one I'm always interested in, and I've played through it about 3 times, is Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogy on the Switch. This would be a nice one to have as a download only, and I'm sure it's only download it is because it's on the eShop, and it's Capcom again. On April the 9th, we'll be having Phoenix Wright Trilogy. Have any of you played through any of these games?
Nope, never.
Great.
I played through the first one and a wee bit of the second one on DS.
Are you interested in Phoenix Wright in HD?
Possibly. It's one of those games I really need to be in the mood to be sitting through something like that, because it obviously is really text heavy, and it's one of those games where you might know who's done the crime, and you might sometimes you maybe pick the wrong things when you're trying to give evidence and stuff, and it can be awkward sometimes. But I actually did really enjoy the first game, especially whenever like the music and stuff kicked in and things were starting to like ramp up during the court cases and stuff. Like, I really enjoyed that.
It's I love the way that the little court cases beforehand, they all link together for the last kind of case, and everything is thrown at it. It goes very crazy in a kind of Japanese anime style. But yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and then the second one, I think it's Justice for All it was called, they started introducing different mechanics during the like interrogations and stuff. It kind of lost me a wee bit. I think I maybe only got to like the second case in that one, and I just couldn't be bothered keeping going with it. So I don't know if I want to pick this up again and give it another go.
The second one was the most difficult one to get through, and many people who have played and love the kind of Phoenix Wright games always say that as well. The third one is exceptional though. But you've got to play the second one to get the most out of the third one, because the characters have been introduced and all that stuff.
I see. I'd quite like to play through the first one again, because like I don't really remember anything about it. If I was playing it now, like I wouldn't remember all like what happens in any of the cases. So
yeah, you'll be surprised actually. The second time I came back to the first one, as you're playing through it, you know, memory, recollection, and all that, it comes back, but it's like it's the faded, distant memory. So yeah, it's nice to play through. I don't know if I can be bothered to play through it the third or fourth time though. What Darren will be looking forward to though, is because he loves a bit of Civilization 6, is that last week we talked about Civilization 6 having a fantastic take up in terms of revenue on the Switch, and is that they're going to continue supporting it with 2 expansion packs, one Rise and Fall and the other's called Gathering Storm. No prices, no dates, but they're on the way, and they include so much more content, as if there's not enough content already. Nick, you said you've been playing this, is that right?
Yeah, I've put about 25 hours into it. It's the first time I've ever played a Civilization game. Dazzy recommended it on the Discord, and then I picked it up because it was quite cheap. I found it quite cheap, and I have lost 3 evenings so far to this game, where I was playing until 6 o'clock in the morning.
So you
I don't know, once
well?
you start, yeah, it's great. Once you start, you just keep going and going and going. It's really, really addictive, and you just one more turn. Oh, I just need to get these guys over there, or I just need to create this unit or whatever. No, it's a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. I haven't played it for a while because I don't want to sit until 6 o'clock in the morning playing it. But no, it's good, and more I mean, yeah, you're right. There's absolutely tons of content in it. I've already started 3 different campaigns, mostly because the first 2 I realised that I wasn't going to win, so I started another one. And yeah, it's good. It's really good, and if there's DLC and it's the right price, I'll definitely get it.
Cool. I was just about to ask that question. Because there's tons of content. Would you ever be interested in even more content? But it sounds as if you would.
Content's always good. The more the better.
And then a rhythm game, I haven't bought it, and I've been looking at it for a while. There's the company that makes 2 of them. There's Demo, which has recently got a physical release, and then the second one is called Voez, and I preferred Voez more. Demo is more piano based. Voez is more this Japanese upbeat. I thought it'd be the opposite, but no, Voez got me in the demo. So they're adding 16 new songs to it, which is amazing, and it's got 201 songs on the track list. So and these are all free. They keep on adding songs free to it all the time. So if you're ever interested in a solid rhythm game with a touchscreen especially, Voez is your boy. Anybody like rhythm games?
I love a wee rhythm game, and I haven't really checked this out yet. Does it have a demo on the eShop?
Yeah, yes it does.
I think it does. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Both
really
this
must try
one
it out.
and Demo, they both have demos, and it's worth checking them both out, because they operate in a very similar way, and whichever one takes your fancy then from the song list.
I think I will look into it, because just over the last few days I've just been thinking, like, why have we never had Elite Beat Agents 2?
Yeah. And this one, where Elite Beat Agents had on the touchscreen, you were following a path around and clicking on the icons. It's kind of, these ones are falling icons, but they're not just falling; they're also sliding. So there is a bit of that kind of extra depth to it, which is quite nice.
Cool.
Is this the game that's touchscreen only?
I believe they patched in button controls at a later date, but after playing it with touchscreen, there's no way I could go to button controls on something like this. It is a kind of touchscreen focused game, yeah. Mm-hmm. But it looks good, and the content for the price they're asking is immense.
Maybe I'll check out the demo then.
Onanaki. Interested in RPGs from Square Enix?
Always.
Good. You love Chrono Trigger?
I've never played Chrono Trigger, actually.
Takahashi Tokita, who was the creative producer of Square Enix titles, including Chrono Trigger, is now one of the creative producer of Oninaki as well. So, as far as I can see, it's in very good hands.
It looked good in the direct. I'm interested in it. We'll see what happens when they start releasing more details and stuff about it.
And Greg,
I might pick it up.
You talked about it as well, didn't you, and said not really for you.
I'm just at the point where even the words RPG is just like I'm out almost immediately.
The next one's not an RPG, but it will drain your money maybe because it's Xbox. Apparently, these are been rumours, but it's the rumours are building and building and building to a point now that surely this is happening. Is that Xbox One and Xbox 360 titles through Xbox Game Pass and something called Project X Cloud streaming service will be making their way to the Switch with an Xbox app. Excited, boys?
Xbox is a platform I've never really got on with, actually. I always get the Nintendo system first, and then quite often I would maybe pick up a PlayStation at some point. I did have a 360 a few years ago. That only really lasted me a year because I got rid of it because it wasn't really doing anything for me. Having said that, there are a couple of games on the Xbox at the minute that I would love to be able to play on Switch. Most notably would be Cuphead would be the one. Like as soon as I seen it, like the graphical style and like the shooting and stuff, I thought I would really like to play that. That came to the Switch in some form. I'd be absolutely delighted.
Anything else?
I did say a couple of games there, didn't I? I suppose I can't think of the name of it here. Is it Sunset Overdrive? Always looks kind of okay.
The other one that's been rumoured is Ori and the Blind Forest. I don't know if I got the name right there. Ori and the Blind Forest?
Ori and the Blind Forest, that's right.
Yeah, that looks another game that I would like to possibly play. Are they going to be they've obviously going to be charging for Game Pass, aren't they?
Yeah.
And the Project X Cloud. Do you have an Xbox, Nick?
I had an original Xbox for a while when it was like 2004 or 5, I think, and then I got a 360 about a year after launch and had that for a year or two. But like Greg, I really, really enjoyed the Project Gotham Racing games, and Halo 1 and 2 and 3 obviously were pretty cool. But I was more into GameCube and the Wii at the time, to be honest. I think I only got an Xbox because I was a teenager and all my friends were like, oh, why are you playing Nintendo? Oh, you need to get an Xbox or a PlayStation. But I enjoyed it, and then I just sold it because I didn't have time with university to play Wii and Xbox.
You got rid of the correct one.
I did. I think this is really, really, really smart by Microsoft, and I think it's going to revolutionize the games industry because they know they can't beat Nintendo and Sony on exclusives. I mean, they've got good ones, but they're not as good as Sony and Nintendo's, and they don't have I would say they don't have a big loyal fan base like Sony and Nintendo do. So this makes sense for them. Like if they can still sell consoles to their dedicated audience, 10, 20, 30, whatever million, and then sell Game Pass to everybody else.
Yes.
I think they're really going to be looking at a big windfall. The thing that really concerns me first of all is streaming. I know lots of people in the UK, and I certainly have quite bad internet, and I don't think streaming would work for me. And it would be interesting to see how they do it, whether they let you download smaller games onto your system and then have a check-in every day or every week or something.
Very similar to how the NES online service works, yeah.
Yeah. But for things like Forza, you're never going to be able to download that onto a Switch, I think. So. And another thing that's concerning, I don't know how they're going to work it out, is how it's going to affect sales in the eShop. Because, if you can play the Xbox One version of Doom, for example, why would you buy the Switch version?
Good question.
Because it runs better, it looks
think
better, and it's the same for indie titles as well. If you can play, for an example, 5 games that are on the eShop, if you can play them for $9.99 a month via Game Pass, why do you need to buy a copy?
Because there's a lot of crossover between indie games as well, yes.
Yeah, so it's going to be tricky to work out, I think. But I really hope they do it. I really
Or
hope they
maybe,
do. I'm so
maybe
interested
there's going to
in it.
be some kind of thing where Nintendo say, hey, look, if this game is on eShop, you can't put it on.
Yeah, it's simple. Yeah, it's the simplest answer. If it's on the eShop, sorry, you can't do it.
Sorry, you can't put it on your
Everything
app.
else.
Yeah.
But no, I'd absolutely love to be able to play Halo and Forza on Switch.
I'd like to give them a try. You know, I've always been a Nintendo only gamer, and to have the opportunity to play games like that on the Switch would be eye-opening for me. Even if it's just like, all right, I'll have a monthly pass, run it for a month, see what happens, and then don't renew. Just to give them a try.
Yeah, I mean it's great, really. Like I considered buying an Xbox at the end of last year because one of the shops in Russia was closing, and the Xbox Ones were going quite cheap, but it didn't quite get down to the price that I was willing to pay for it, so I didn't pick it up in the end. And I also don't think I would have enough time. I've got enough to play on Switch, but there's a certain type of game that's lacking on the Switch, and I think if they had some games from Microsoft, it would really cover that well, especially like hardcore races. I mean, we were both excited about Grid coming.
Yeah.
So there's a lack of good racing
games. Yes, a few more of those would be wonderful. You can start streaming F1. I'm an F1 head. So
yes. Mm-hmm.
Greg, how much would you pay for Game Pass on your Switch?
Well, how much is Game Pass at the minute?
That's a good question. I was hoping one of you two.
It's $9.99, I think.
Monthly.
But that could be dollars, so it could be $7.99. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I had heard it was $7.99 roughly. It kind of depends. Like in a month where I'm playing like lots of other games, like there'd be no point me spending $7.99 to be able to like dip into a couple of Xbox games just for 5 minutes here and there. But if I had like a free month or whatever where like I wasn't really playing very much, like I'd be more than happy to pay that to jump into something. It just depends. Like, are you gonna need to like buy an Xbox Live account as well, or is that separate?
At the moment, I think it's separate. I think you have to pay. I think it's £40 a year for Xbox Live Gold, and then $7.99 for the Live Pass. So maybe they'll do something to put it together. One thing though that I know you'll both be interested in is Rare Replay, if that comes.
Most certainly. Yes.
Yeah, I was thinking about that the other day. I started thinking I could actually get Banjo on the Switch.
Yeah, finally.
He's coming to Smash as well, isn't he?
Definitely.
Well, moving on to Nintendo of America President Reggie Fils-Aimé. His persona, he grated some people. Other people loved him for what he was doing. What were your feelings about him, Greg?
I wasn't one of the people that I agreed on, because like I actually loved Reggie, and like he had just so much character, and I mean he's in that role like he has to like market things in the best way possible, and like so he's sort of in a position where like sometimes he's getting asked questions where it's like
yeah,
we all know the answer to it, but he can't commit to saying certain things. And it's like I always sort of felt like he deals with it in the best way possible, really. And I just thought he was really good at what he did, and I loved all the the way he embraced things like the "My Body Is Ready" memes and stuff. Like he just really got into the roles, and like him and Iwata both being away from Nintendo now is like it just feels like the company's changing, and like Miyamoto, he can't go on forever either. I just feel like the company's transforming now, and like I'm actually scared of what way things are going to go, because like there's been just so much character and like passion and stuff, and you just sort of feel you worry about them becoming more of like deviating away from that and just becoming like a really like hardcore like business as such, and just like
the humour, isn't it? Yeah, all those directs. I just watched on Twitter as well that little sketch between Iwata and Reggie when they were fighting, when they were revealing the Wii U Smash Brothers. What an awesome little sketch that is, and stuff like that, and is thinking, they don't do that anymore. And that's just one little thing, The
Star Fox one was really good as well, the puppets.
The puppets were amazing.
That was awesome, yeah.
So what do you think of Reggie, Nick?
I'm a big fan as well. I'm very sad that he's going. But opposite to Greg, when he used to give his PR answers, it used to really get on my nerves. I know he can't do anything else, but it's just the way he like says the same thing over and over again. Like they ask a different question, he just responds the same. That used to annoy me. Not so much now. It was more that end of the Wii, beginning of the Wii U era was most annoying. But for the last few years, he's been great, and it's a very, very sad day for memes.
It must have been such a hard job for him at the end of the Wii cycle when there's just nothing to talk about. And anyway, well, memes are heavy apparently with this follow-up Doug Bowser. We've got Bowser. At the moment, he's Senior Vice President of Sales and Marketing, and he came across from Microsoft, where he had a similar job.
EA, no? Was it not EA?
Oh, EA. Was it EA?
Oh, it was
sorry, okay.
Yeah,
EA.
it was EA.
Okay, so he came
From the
across
dark
from
side.
EA. Yeah, very dark side. I thought it was dark
That's
enough.
even more worrying.
Are we going to see EA access on Nintendo Switch? Wow.
Microtransactions. Go.
So Bowser is now going to be the president of Nintendo America, and the memes have been heavy with Bowser and Bowsette. I hope the comedy from Bowser, Doug Bowser that is, can continue as well as it has with Reggie.
Me too. It would be nice.
And that's the switchover is going to happen on April the 15th, so only a month and a half away. And we will be losing Reggie to wherever he's going. A full retirement, he said, though, didn't he?
Yeah, he might appear on the board of some company, but I think he's done. He's been very successful for the last 15 years, so I think he can probably afford to chill out.
I just want him to drop a bomb before he goes.
Mother 3 coming next week.
He did say something on Twitter as well. It's kind of like I've been pestered by Mother 3 for my entire duration of working in Nintendo. So go on, Reggie, drop it. Finish with 2 bits. One is that, which this kind of news is kind of redundant because saying it beforehand, by the time the podcast is out, it would have happened, and then we've got nothing to say about it. But Pokemon Direct is happening today. 2 p.m. in the UK. It's 7 minutes long. Any quick predictions, and then we can, people can hold us to account. What's going to happen?
Pokemon Let's Go, Marill and Togepi.
Do we think they're going to show a wee glimpse of the new Pokemon today?
I think yes. A very, very brief glimpse.
Any guesses on what the names will be?
Oh, I did it in my predictions, and I can't remember what I said. I said it was time related. Oh yeah, I said Pokemon Past and Pokemon Future. Greg, what about you?
I gotta go Heart and Soul.
Remakes
I'm gonna
of
go
Hearts. What was it? Soul Silver and Heart
Gold.
Heart Gold.
Oh, have they already used those?
They
yeah.
They've used them, but in the remakes, yes.
And well, that's that one dead in the water then.
Unless they're going to do remakes. Gen 8 remake of what was that? The Silver, Gold, third generation, whatever it was.
Second.
Yeah.
It was remake of second generation.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
There you go, Greg. You can't have them. They're taken.
Dang.
So that's happening. And last bit of news being sales. MPD Group do sales for America, and just to say that in January 2019, once again, Switch shows year-on-year sales growth, the only console to do that. It's outperforming everything else, both in terms of dollars and unit sales. And the Switch Pro controller, this is a weird one, was January's best-selling computer game accessory.
Hope they weren't buying it for Tetris 99.
Oh yeah, I really hope they don't. It's terrible for Tetris 99.
Oh, it's obviously you've both got Pro controllers, and you've got the old one like me, and when you don't even accidentally push up, it just flicks up, and yeah.
I've got the one which I had from launch day, and I got a Xenoblade one maybe 6-7 months ago, and it's the same with that one.
Oh really? I thought they fixed it for the Xenoblade one.
No.
Okay.
Xenoblade one, it still does the same thing, unfortunately.
Okay, so if I was looking to get a new Pro controller, it would have to be the Smash one, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I actually
You don't have
a
one?
Pro controller, no.
Okay.
Joy-Cons for life.
You're a winner there, Greg. A winner.
I have small hands, they suit me fine.
And that's wrapping up the news then. So you'll have a second chance of guessing our transition music. Have a listen and send it in to the bits and pieces I mentioned earlier before the news. And we're going to go on to what we've been playing. What have you been playing, Nick?
I've actually this month has been the least amount of time I've spent playing Switch since it came out, which was a bit interesting. I've been very busy. I've been playing Hollow Knight for the Discord
Pod Pals.
chat, which we're going to do. Pod Pals, which we're going to do soon. Playing a bit of Smash online. lots of fun. And this weekend, usually on a Sunday, I like to sit down in the evening and play Mario Tennis Aces. So I'm going to talk about Mario Tennis Aces. I have been officially dethroned as the #1 player in Russia, which made me very sad. Some guy played... In February, he's played 150 matches, I think, or something crazy. And I've only played about 20 or so. No, I know Dazzy really, really loves this game. He says it's the best tennis game ever. And I agree with Dazzy.
Nice.
Yeah. He actually prefers the simple tennis, where without any of the special powers. But I prefer the Nintendo version with all the special powers. There's so much you need to think about. There's so many different ways you can attack or you can defend. It's such a good game. Basically, you have 3 different powers. You can do a quick power shot, you can do a full power shot, or you can do... I can't remember the other one now. There's lots of things you have to think about and lots of different ways you can approach it. Characters are very different, which is cool. Like, you've got your power characters like Bowser and Donkey Kong. You've got really annoying characters like Rosalina and Boo, who slice every single shot and it's almost impossible to read.
Tricky characters, yeah.
Yeah, tricky characters, that's it. And then I started playing with Waluigi. He was really good at defense. He's a defensive character, but I found it was really difficult to win with him. It was easy to defend, and you can move around very well. You've got like a big reach and stuff like that, but to actually hit a winning shot was more difficult. Like, he's not as powerful as the other characters. So I've settled now on Peach, who's a technical character.
I've settled on a technical character myself, and it's just because they're kind of good all-rounders, aren't they? And they can find the angles a bit easier. I've gone for Koopa Paratrooper.
I don't get on with the flying characters so much. I don't like. I need feet to understand like where I'm going and stuff like that.
Yeah, funnily enough, like even back in the Nintendo 64 one with Power Trooper, like I always felt a bit weird floating around. It's just, but like you said, with like you prefer like the special tennis. Like, to me, like they're both so good. Like the normal tennis is absolutely brilliant, and then like I love all the special moves and stuff as well, because like it feels balanced. It doesn't feel like.
It really does, yeah.
It doesn't feel like it gets in the way. It's like you have some amazing rallies with all like the slowing down and like doing your power shots and like blocking like the shots. Even if you don't have like your meter filled, like, you know, like if somebody does like one of their big special shots or something, and it, like you usually maybe like slow down to try and block it. If I remember playing a game a few weeks ago where like I think it was me and Darren were actually playing in the doubles match, and like we didn't have any of our special meter built up, and they were doing a big special shot, and like somehow we blocked it back, and it just like it just felt like a big punch in the air for a moment.
Those moments are the best moments. That's why it's so good, because when you pull something off like that, it feels really, really good, and you feel like you've really like worked for it. You've earned it. You deserve it, the victory, when you do stuff like that. But I mean, it's a very good game, but I have a number of complaints about it. First of all, the story mode is terrible. Compared to the previous handheld versions, it's terrible. Like, it was 6 or 7 hours, I think I finished it, and the story was a bit dull. The matches sometimes were quite interesting, sometimes just repeating the same stuff. And I really don't like that there's no other modes like there was in the 64 and GameCube version. Ring Shot was one of my favourites. I absolutely loved that.
Yeah, Ring Shot and coin collecting things like that.
Yeah, so it's disappointing.
I thought they were going to, you know, in the little co-op challenges, I thought they were going to throw a lot more of those at us, and at the moment they're just repeating the Boo one, and it's shame.
But playing online, it's tense. It's generally quite good in terms of lag and stuff like that. Connection quality is not too bad. And yeah, it's just fun. It's just really fun. And I was getting really frustrated with the game before they updated it, because there wasn't any sort of balancing or ranking system. So my matches constantly were, I played someone who was terrible, and then I played someone who was a god, and then I played someone who was terrible, and I played someone who was a god, and it was just impossible to have any fun, because I would win by 8 points or I would lose by 8 points.
I find myself doing that still, though. Maybe it's because I'm not good enough, you know, and I'm either playing a child and hammering them, or I'm getting beaten by someone like you or Greg or somebody, you know.
It seems more balanced now, though. They've got like the DCBA ranking system, and I think I'm at B plus now, so I'm trying to get into A. But I usually like, I'll go into we'll win one set each, and then it'll go into the tiebreaker, and I find that much more enjoyable.
It's a tricky one because, like we mentioned before, about like the short format makes it really like it is easy to lose like 8 points to 0 or whatever.
Yeah.
Because like I've had matches where like somebody's been blowing me away for like 6 points or whatever, and then it's only then that I sort of start to get a read of how they play, and then like by that time you're really against it, trying to claw things back. Sometimes you do, but like if it was a longer set, then you do have that opportunity to turn it around.
I would prefer a longer set as well, definitely. As maybe like a 6 set. But then again, it would take too long and things like that. One thing I really like is that it's really quick and easy to get into a game and to finish a game. So it's a balance, I guess, they've got to find. But no, it's good fun. I enjoy it. Most played Mario Tennis game so far.
Excellent.
Good stuff.
Greg, what have you been playing this week, apart from Hollow Knight?
Not an awful lot, actually. I've been quite busy this week. I've been trying to work on some content and stuff. Apart from Hollow Knight and like just a few other wee bits and pieces, I recorded a wee bit a vault for Excite Truck earlier in the week.
Yes, great
Been last week. Yeah, so yeah, if you haven't seen that, it's on YouTube. It's a game I haven't played really for a good few years now, but jumping back into it for recording it, I actually played a couple of races further than after I finished recording, and that game is it's brilliant. I would love to see it back. Basically, if you've never played it before, it's like you're racing trucks around these big, huge race courses that like they're not like tight, narrow roads or anything. It's like a big, massive area, and like the physics are, you wouldn't call them realistic because you can boost like away off jumps away hugely into the air, and that's because basically the game isn't entirely about the races. You will get more points for finishing higher up. Like if you finish in first place, you'll get, I think it's like 50 points or whatever, which is the most, but it's more about actually scoring points throughout the races. So you'll get points by doing things like ramming into your opponents, or like getting as high as big an air as you possibly can off jumps, and like doing like 360 spins and whatever, or like driving through like trees and stuff without hitting them. You'll gain stars. So it's about getting as many points as you can during a race to get the best ranks possible, and it's absolutely fantastic. It's really fast, it's fluid, it's tilt controls, which a lot of people like would scoff at nowadays, but like I thought they felt fantastic back on the Wii, and I would really love to see like a sequel or like a similar sort of racing game on Switch.
Did you use the Wii Wheel with it, or just as, you know?
I didn't, because the tilt controls are actually like different in Excite Trucks, as it like tilts it like, I'm not even sure how to describe it, but if you imagine
with the
like
buttons facing up.
Yeah, like if you imagine like using the wheel, like you're turning a certain way, it's actually, you'd be like I can't describe it, but you wouldn't be tilting the steering wheel the way you're supposed to be tilting it.
Instead of left and right, yeah, it's like a twist, isn't it? Rather than, it's so long ago since I played it, and I didn't actually own this game. Yeah, it is more tilt rather than twist. Yeah.
Yep. I just like when I was playing it, I was so tempted to start up a new save file.
Yeah. Because
like I've done everything there is to do, and I just thought I just want an excuse to play it again, and it's one of those things about finding the time to go back and play these sorts of things when there's so many games to play on the Switch and stuff. The other day, like I seen The World Ends With You Final Remix, like for a pretty reasonable price, and I was tempted to get it for a few minutes, and then I thought, like, why would I do this to myself when I've got so many other things I want to play? And I'm getting much better at restraining myself. Play Excite Truck.
And I want to play Excite Truck. I hope it is one of those games that comes across the Switch. Myself, I haven't been playing all too much this week either, apart from Hollow Knight and dribs and drabs, other things I'll talk about next week. But I did, 2 weeks ago during Chinese New Year, my son and we popped up to Nova, which is an electronics warehouse, basically, huge superstore, and they were holding a Mario Kart 8 Deluxe competition there. So I'm going to talk about that for 5 minutes. So we turn up, and they, you know, on the we call it the first floor here, the ground floor, they got this huge, massive TV there, and just the one switch connected, and they've got the red and blue Joy-Con controller, so everybody can have a go. And the competition was basically open for 50 people. You just turned up at the time, which was at 3 o'clock in the afternoon on a Sunday, and you registered your name. First 50, first go. And they managed to get 50. They could have had 200 people for the people turning up. And looking around, I thought there's a lot of families here. I stand a good chance, as if a few kids come on, I'm thinking, oh yeah, I fancy my chances. And then as time progressed, I'm seeing younger people coming in, thinking teenagers, thinking, ooh, it could be an iffy, and they're pulling out their switches and practicing because it's a time trial. I'm thinking, why didn't I bring my Switch? So they basically said, right, the track you're playing on is Moo Moo Farm. The one that as you progress through the 3 laps, the cows start coming across the stage. So, you go a little bit wrong, you're going to get hit. Your aspirations of getting a fast time are broken. And you've got to be Mario, and you've got to be in the standard kart, which I'm pretty good Mario Kart player at the best of times. And when I started, I went first, my son went behind me. There was this one good guy who'd been practicing. He'd been sitting on the floor and practicing on his Switch for ages, and he put in a decent time. So I came up, and I'm a little bit loose on the first lap, trying to get used to Mario's weight, because I tend to go with heavier characters, or my Mii character, which is a heavy character as well, and a heavier car. So he's a bit light, and I'm getting used to it, so I'm not taking the tightest of angles, and I put in a first good lap. No boosts. Go through my second lap, 1 boost, and I hammer the lap record. Beautiful lap, if I say so myself. And just so you can judge, after I put the podcast up, I'll post it to Twitter or something like that. Mm-hmm. And then my third lap came. And got through the cow part in the beginning, and I used 2 boosts going across the grass to cut that grass and really shave off time. And then as you come into the last section, there's that little turn to the left, and then you come down, and there's a jump boost, which I missed because I got the wrong angle, so that's okay. And there's a couple of Monty Mole paths, and I'm trying to jump off one of those, and I got my timing wrong, and I ended up like a third of the way into one of those circular grass verges in the middle. And it's like, I was so far ahead, and by the time I got off that grass verge and around the corner with a little boost and all that, I lost first place by 1/10 of a second.
Oh, got it.
So down to second. And then my son comes up. And my son's a decent player. He rarely beats me. So I thought, well, our chances of a win here are scuppered. And his first lap, he makes 2 big mistakes. But the mistakes, by hitting the side of the track, he's trying to get used to it as well. So he's smart enough to know that as soon as he's hit the side of the track, he boosts. So he boosts out of it. So the first lap, he's done a really good time, but he's used 2 of his boosts. Second lap is solid. And then he proceeds to put in this astonishingly awesome third lap. And I mean, it's faultless, and he gets everything is perfect. The boost off the middle ramp, the boost at the end, and it's like, oh my God. And it's so close, and he won by about 1/10 of a second, He put in the lap of a lifetime, and he took the first position. And then, there were many people coming up and coming close to my now third place. And, people going a little 1/10 slower than me. And I'm like, oh, am I going to keep this third place? And eventually we did. My son was first. I was third.
Nice.
We were well happy. We won vouchers to use in that electronics store. So once we given all our details and got it ended up about just over 50 quid. Not bad for an afternoon's work of Mario Kart.
Yeah.
And then we proceeded to spend them. My son bought Kirby's Star Allies, and I bought the Splatoon amiibo, the little pink inkling girl, the newest one. So we both left with wonderful smiles, and we went back up the next day. They had another competition a few days later, because it was still Chinese New Year, where I don't know if you know, when they pray in China and Taiwan, they've got these little moon shaped red things that you hold, and then you throw them to the floor, and depending on the way they bounce, the god has said yes or no. Now, we had to throw those on the floor and try and land them in a particular way. So one side was facing upward and one side is facing downward, so they're facing opposites, and do how many you can get in a row. The guy right before us had about 7 or 8 in a row, so he's looking good. And the winner of this competition, by the way, can win a Switch. So it's just a bit of laugh, and throw it down. I throw it down, bang, 0. The first one, they both face down. My son has a go after me, bang, both face up. No switches, 1. But I can't grumble with a free game and a free amiibo.
No,
good laugh.
Very good.
Good laugh. So that's what we've been playing, what we've been doing and enjoying, and have a listen again for our transition music. We're gonna go on to our topic of the week. And our topic of the week this week is a little game which we've played before with N64 games and SNES games. Is that right, Greg?
I'm not sure. I remember Nintendo 64 ones, and I don't think it was SNES games, was it?
it was NES, wasn't it? I think.
Oh, did we do NES?
Was it NES?
Okay.
It couldn't have been, because I wouldn't have been able to participate.
No, I think
in
it was.
that
It was just Darren and Lee did NES. I think.
Ah, possibly.
Maybe.
That's why Greg can't remember, because he didn't take part. Okay. Well, this week we're going to do exactly the same thing with our top 15 Wii games. Greg, do you want to tell us how it goes?
Yeah, sure. I'm just getting the rules out because I can't remember them all.
That's why I put it across to you. Sorry.
Alright, hopefully this is going to work here, because the previous times we played it, there's only been 2 of us, so 3-way this time it'll make it slightly more probably interesting, I would guess.
I thought it'd be more interesting, yeah.
Yeah, so we've all compiled a list of 15 Wii games that we would like to be in the top 15. And we've ranked them all, we've given them all between 1 and 15 points. So if, for example, in like the first round, if we all say our games and what ranking we've given them, the person with the highest rating for the game will go on the list of our top 15 Wii games. If you name a game in one of the rounds that has already been mentioned before, then you can't win that round.
Yeah.
Well, sorry, a game that's already on the list. You'll
yeah.
not be able to win that round, whatever ranking you've given it. If 2 people have given the same ranking in a round, then it will go to the next round to determine who wins the previous round.
And that'll do us, yeah.
That's pretty much it.
That's pretty much it. We will shout out extra rules as they come, as they happen.
Yeah, if they come along. Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Okay, then we're going to start with round 1.
Start with the new boy.
Okay, Nick.
The new boy.
Let's go, Nick. What is your first game?
My first game is Punch-Out.
Okay.
A good one.
Don't say your score yet. Don't say what you ranked it yet.
I know.
You know, you've listened to our podcast before.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say mine next then. My number 1 is Wii Sports.
Ooh.
That is number 1. The perfect number 1. And mine is Skyward Sword.
Okay, Nick, what have you given Punch-Out?
I have given Punch-Out 10 points.
Okay. I banked Wii Sports as a losing bet to start off with, and I've given Wii Sports a 1.
Ooh.
Saving the big boys.
So, Greg,
I
what
guess,
did you give Skyward Sword?
Well, Skyward Sword is in with 13 points.
Ooh.
Okay, so let me write that down. Skyward Sword. And that also means, as Greg just got his game in, Greg gets 1 point.
Yeah. And I forgot to mention as well at the start, your game that has you've given 15 points, like your top rating to, that will, at the end of the game, whoever scored the most points will be able to take away one of the other games in the list and replace it with one of their own that didn't get in.
Okay.
The number 15,
so
though,
if 15 is immune.
yeah.
So
Choose your favourite.
yeah.
Okay, Nick, your number 2 position game.
Number 2, I'm going to go with Excite Truck.
Just the game Greg was talking about. I've got Resident Evil 4 for my number 2.
My number 2 is the best number 2 of all time. Super Mario Galaxy 2.
Oh, you've gone and scored this Galaxy too high, Greg. Okay. Nick, what did you score yours?
I gave Excite Truck 12 points.
Okay. Nick, I've just outscored you by 1. I have a feeling Greg will outscore me. I have 13 points for Resident Evil 4. How much is Super Mario Galaxy 2, Greg?
To be honest, if it would feel satisfying to have just beat you, because then I'd know that you have lost 2 of your higher numbers. And that's exactly what's happened. I've gave Super Mario Galaxy 14.
Oh. He's happy already.
Super Mario Galaxy 2, yeah?
2,
Oh, sorry, Super Mario Galaxy 2, yeah.
And Greg goes
the best one.
2-0 up.
The second
Early
best
start. Right then, Nick. Number 3.
Alright, number 3, I'm going for a favourite of Greg's, which is Mario Strikers Charged.
Mm.
Mine will be exempt, because unfortunately Greg has already just said Super Mario Galaxy 2. So what's yours, Greg?
Mine is Wii Sports.
Okay. And Nick, your score for...
I only gave Mario Strikers 4 points.
Okay.
How dare you? How dare you?
I out of interest, I give Super Mario Galaxy 2 a 10 points, but obviously defunct. So at the moment, Mario Strikers is winning on 4. What about you, Greg?
At the risk of of getting rid of my big hitters early, Wii Sports 15 points.
Oh.
No chance for Mario Strikers. Okay.
And Greg's
Wii
3-0
Sports is
up.
immune,
Taking the first
deservedly.
3. You got some of your big numbers out there, Greg.
Yeah, it's all downhill from here.
Let's see if it is, Nick. What's your number 4?
Number 4, I'm going to go with We Play.
We Play. That's
Yeah.
okay. Even the cow race.
I really liked We Play. It was
Okay.
a very good game. Lots of time spent on that.
Sorry, I was just going to say, like, it was good to get it along with, like, the Wii Remote, and, like, you get to try a few different things. Like, I quite enjoyed the Wii shooting game and all in it.
Yeah, it was good fun. Really good fun.
It was good to have. Like, I definitely wouldn't have it in my top 15 Wii games, but
Yeah, the little air hockey game stands out with me as well. That was quite nice. My number 4 was the Metroid Prime trilogy. Greg,
Interesting.
what was your number 4?
my number 4 is Silent Hill Shattered Memories.
Okay. I can't see that scoring too high, but I know it's a good game.
Why not?
We'll find out now.
I'm going to be disappointed that it's not going to make it here. 'Cause I love that game.
Okay. Nick, what did you score We Play?
I gave We Play a massive 1 point.
Hey. It's the token game.
Throwing it under the bus.
Metroid Prime, I gave an 8.
It's
So,
pretty solid.
can your Silent Hill score more than an 8, Greg?
No, you expected it to to be quite low. Silent Hill Shattered Memories is 9.
Oh.
I can't
4
believe that
points
one's.
already for Greg.
I can't believe that's beat you. So
Metroid Prime loses to... So I hope all you boys have got Metroid Prime later on.
I wasn't actually sure Trilogy would be allowed, so I don't have it.
It was a full race.
No, I don't have Trilogy either.
Okay.
It was a full
Then,
release, that's true.
yeah, I'm just being cheeky then. Okay.
It's gone now. Right?
And Nick, what about number 5?
Number 5, unfortunately, I'm going to have to sacrifice because it's already been, and it's Skyward Sword.
Wow, my number 5 is also Skyward Sword. Greg, you got a free round.
I wish this was my number 1 point round. Sadly, it's not. I have got Resident Evil 4 Wii Edition with 10 points.
Hey, you got in. You're 5-0 up already, Greg. There's only 10 points left.
Yeah.
I was being really tactical this time as well with selecting my, number 1, and then I'd come back strong later. Obviously, not working yet.
Yeah, I think I'm going to get punished over the next few rounds here.
Number 6, Nick.
Number 6 is my only WiiWare game, and it's Lost Winds.
Oh, I never played that one.
Very good game. Sorry, I nearly said about the points, but I won't.
Oh. My number 6 was Wii Sports Resort, the follow-up.
Very good. Mine is Super Mario Galaxy.
Okay. Nick, what did you give Lost Winds?
I gave it 6 points.
You beaten my Wii Sports Resort. I gave that a 2.
Yes!
And Super Mario Galaxy. This was one that I thought there was a chance that it may already have been on the list, so I was kind of throwing it away. I gave Super Mario Galaxy 1 point.
Wow.
Oh, okay. So, Lost Winds. That's a...
That one's getting cut.
I was going to say strange inclusion, but not according
Oh,
to
you
me.
haven't heard the rest of my list yet. There's going to be a lot of stuff getting cut.
Honestly,
sure.
Lost Winds is actually a really good game. Like, I enjoyed it, and the sequel as well.
Yeah,
I thought they were great games.
Mhm.
Like I actually forgot.
What was the
forgot
sequel's
about it.
name?
They probably Winter
Lost
of the
Winds.
Melodious.
Something else. I can't remember.
Okay.
The first one was really good though.
Cool. Something. Well, I can't check it out now. Is it something you can check out? You can't anymore.
Heartbreaking. They'll come to Switch surely.
Maybe.
Yeah, possibly. HD remasters. Number 7, Nick.
Number 7 is Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games.
That is another strange one. My number 7 is Super Mario Galaxy 1. What about you,
Hope
Greg?
you've done it justice. Sin and Punishment, Successor of the Skies.
Ooh, okay. And Nick, what did you score yours?
A massive 2 points.
I've scored Super Mario Galaxy. Similar to Greg, I think I've thrown it under the bus a bit, so I'm hoping Greg has scored a massive 2 points for Sin and Punishment, because I've scored Super Mario Galaxy 3.
It's disappointing that Mario Galaxy isn't going to be on it just yet, because I've scored Sin and Punishment 8 points.
Okay, Sin and Punishment, great game.
It is great. Not better than Super Mario Galaxy, but a great game.
On to number 8, Nick.
Number 8 is House of the Dead Overkill.
Awesome game.
Well, it is awesome. I love the atmosphere and stuff. What I will say, there's a wee bit, it slows down a wee bit when you're shooting sometimes. Like there's a wee bit
Lag, you mean, yeah?
Yeah. Sometimes, yeah.
Just kind of holds it back a wee bit, but it's a great game. Like I love it as well.
I've got Mario Kart Wii for my number 8.
One of the weakest Mario Kart games.
Still had a lot of fun with it though, especially
Yeah,
in,
likewise I did too. It's just, I think the item balance was a bit off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine is Zack and Wiki Quest for Barbaro's Treasure.
Never played that one. A game I'd like to play, and hopefully that's another one that could pop up on the Switch. So, Nick, what did you score? I forgot what game you had now, Nick.
It was House of the Dead Overkill.
House of the Dead Overkill, yes. What did you score, House of the Dead?
Sorry, boys. Round over, 15 points.
15. Beautiful.
I'm fine with that.
Out of interest, I give Mario Kart Wii 4.
And I had Zack and Wiki at 7.
Ooh.
That's another one for Nick. So, Greg, you got 6. Nick, you got 2. And once again, I'm looking at a dismal 0.
I've got no problems with Overkill being in. None at all.
Yeah, it's a good game. Enjoyed my time with it. Number 9, Nick.
Number 9 is Super Mario Galaxy.
Another
Oh,
chance.
that's still not in. It's got its third chance of getting in now. I've got Zelda Twilight Princess for my number 9.
And I went for Metroid Prime 3 Corruption.
Scores them, boys. Nick.
Only 5 points for Mario Galaxy.
Okay.
I assumed somebody else would get it in.
Mario Galaxy's not getting in because, well, at least not from my perspective, Zelda Twilight Princess had a 7 from me. Greg.
Twilight Princess, I'm awkward about, and yet it scored more than Metroid Prime, which I only gave 4 to. So Twilight Princess is in.
Hey, I get my first point. Number 10 then, Nick.
Number 10 is No More Heroes.
Okay. I have Punch Out, the Wii version, of course.
Sorry, on No More Heroes, have you played the latest one? Travis
No,
Strikes
not
Again.
yet.
Are you
Not
going to
yet.
play it?
Only the first 2.
Are you going to play it though?
If they give us a sale, yeah, I'll pick it up.
One of those things, the DLC is coming out February 28th as well, which will add more to it. But then again, you got to buy the season pass on top, haven't you?
Mine is Excite Truck.
Oh, you like this one, Nick? Greg?
We know I like it, yeah.
Okay, so what have you scored, Nick?
I've given No More Heroes 9 points.
Oh, 9. Then it beats my
Solid.
Punch Out, which is at 6.
It doesn't beat Excite Truck, which I've given 11 points to.
Another point for Greg.
Side Truck is in at number 10. That takes Greg up to 7. How many points left? 5 more points left. Nick, you're the only
Nick can
person
draw.
who can possibly draw.
Oh god,
I'm
it's
out
not
of
going
the
to happen,
running
I
a
think.
long time ago. Then on to number 11.
Number 11 is WarioWare Smooth Moves.
Another game I didn't play. And my number 11, and I give this a massive score as well, so I've shot myself in the foot with House of the Dead Overkill.
That's unfortunate. And I have went for No More Heroes.
The classic first one. So
Which
what-
we haven't had that one. Okay, sorry.
Okay, so Nick, what did you score?
I gave WarioWare 3 points.
3 points, okay. And my House of the Dead, which is useless now, I did give 14. So it's down to you, Greg.
14.
Yeah, it was
That's a big hit.
yeah, massive hit.
Big hit.
So
No
Greg,
More
what about you?
Heroes. What was it? WarioWare got 3 just.
Three
So
points
yes, three.
for WarioWare, yeah.
Unfortunately, the form baton will not be making it into the list because No More Heroes has 12 points.
And Greg's the winner.
And on to number 12. I think I've got a slightly unusual one here. So what's yours, Nick?
Number 12 is Red Steel.
Oh, I played the first one a little. I enjoyed the second one more.
Have you been back to Red Steel?
I don't care. That's what it was at the time.
I'm never playing it
was-
again.
It was GoldenEye for me. It was absolutely revolutionary. I loved that game so much.
I remember actually before playing Red Steel, like there's a lot of people saying like the controls are awkward, blah blah blah.
They were
And, like,
very awkward, but if you
but
got
honestly,
used
like,
to them...
honestly, the first time I played it, I thought this is actually how I expected it to control. It felt
Yeah.
absolutely fine.
It was
Going
so
back
good.
to it, I can sort of see where the complaints are now because
Yeah.
it does feel really awkward, especially when things like Metroid Prime 3 like controls
Oh,
better
no,
and stuff.
yeah, much better, definitely.
But yeah, I did really enjoy Red Steel a lot.
My number 12 was Link's crossbow training.
Oh,
Enjoyed my time with that.
Very good game, yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? I've got a wee list of honourable mentions below, and that's one of them. I love crossbow training as well. It gets a bad reputation just because it's like a wee spin-off, but
Yeah.
it's absolutely fantastic. Like, I think I platinumed every round in it. Loved it.
Show off.
Wii Sports Resort is my next one.
Okay, so Nick, what did your game get?
I gave Red Steel an embarrassing 13 points.
Oh, you beat me again.
It's going on the list. It's going on the list.
Did you ever play the second one out of interest?
I did, but I was already not that interested in the Wii when it came. I think I played for about 4 hours or something. But no,
Yeah.
honestly, I preferred the first one. The story was
Yeah,
quite
actually,
good.
once you played about 4 hours of the second one, I think you've pretty much seen everything the game has to offer anyway.
Yeah.
The structure of the second one really irritated me. Like the gameplay and all was really fine, like, but I just didn't like the way everything was laid out.
My Link's crossbow training had 9, so you're at the top there, Nick.
Yeah, I don't have anything big left really. So Wii Sports Resort only got 6.
So it's Red Steel on the list.
Get in there.
Sorry, boys.
Don't make me play it again. No, I'm joking. What about your number 13, Nick?
Number 13 for me is Wii Fit.
Another game I didn't play. Lots of games I didn't play on the Wii. Mine, and I really had fun with this, comparing it to like Wii Sports and all that. This is an EA game, and I know you don't like them at all, Nick, but golf games, they really, really nailed it with Tiger Woods PGA Tour 10.
Oh, yeah, it was great. I loved it.
It was the best of the PGA Tour golf games that came out on the Wii. And I believe it's the edition, because I played a few of them. It had frisbee golf as well, disc golf, as an additional mode, which
maybe 2009 was the last one I played. Sorry, which wasn't.
Yeah, which wasn't wonderful. The golf obviously beat it out, but it was nice for a little knock around, you know. Good game.
Yeah, I think I played one of those as well. Although I always kind of found that like Wii Sports Golf kind of just filled that need for me, so I never really deviated to anything else. My game is Donkey Kong Country Returns.
That didn't make my list at all because I only played it
Not
on
mine.
3DS. So your number 13 position, Nick. What did you score it?
It was 11 points.
Ooh, Tiger Woods.
Sorry, no, 7.
Sorry.
7. I'm
Seven,
sorry,
okay.
7.
Tiger Woods has beaten you by quite some margin, and I had a 12 for Tiger Woods. I do love a good golf game, and this was one.
And
Can you beat
I
12,
give
Greg?
Donkey Kong Country. I thought this game might actually already be in. I gave it 2 points.
Okay, so we got a
Tiger Woods.
motion controlled golf game. Is number 13.
Is anybody else happy with this list so far?
There are a few shockers.
It's missing a few big hitters, isn't it?
It's getting to the point where there's too many to take out.
We've got 2 more rounds to add a few more shockers on top. Cool. Nick, you're number 14.
Number 14 is my most played Wii game, and it's Guitar Hero 3.
Dazzy B will be happy. Mine is another game that you've already said, Nick, and I give it an 11 points because I may as well say it now. It was Sin and Punishment. I thought that was a great game which should be in here, and I've added it late with a high score, and it's backfired.
And I have with Super Mario Strikers, which didn't make it in at the last attempt.
Oh, this might make it in then. If you've got one big score left that I can think about. So, Nick, what have you positioned yours as?
Given Guitar Hero 3 a beatable 8 points.
Oh, Greg, here's your chance.
I don't have an 8 points left. I gave off to you earlier about giving Super Mario Strikers 4 points. I've only given it 5 points.
That's one better. So we got Guitar Hero 3.
Jeez, I've never played Guitar Hero 3.
Another one that probably can get ripped out, really.
Last positions, Nick, number 15.
Number 15 is Wii Sports Resort.
Okay, my one, as you would or possibly could imagine, wasn't the best racing game, but did everything that I needed it to. It was more of an arcade racer than a simulation, but it scratched that itch, and the motion controls are fantastic. F1 2009.
Oh, it was bad. I didn't like it.
I played it a lot.
That one. My last game is Punch Out.
Nick, what did you score?
I gave Wii Sports Resort 11 points.
If anybody's been counting, I've saved my highest score for this game.
Oh,
F1
God.
2009 has got a 15.
Wow. We've got 2 EA games on this list. What's going on?
This is a disaster.
So the list as it stands now is Skyward Sword, Super Mario Galaxy 2, Wii Sports, which is exempt, Silent Hill, Shattered Memories, Resident Evil 4 Wii Edition, Lost Winds, Sin and Punishment, House of the Dead Overkill, which is also exempt, Zelda Twilight Princess, Excite Truck, No More Heroes, Red Steel, Tiger Woods PGA Tour 10, Guitar Hero 3. If they're selling this as a mini console, does it come with a guitar, or do we have to purchase
It does.
that separately?
No, it comes with a guitar.
Cool. And F1 2009, that's exempt.
Those last 4 games are awful.
I forgot to say, there's a new rule this week. I can take 5 games out.
So, Greg, you were the winner. You had at least 8 points there. I stopped counting after you won.
Hang on, I've counted. I'll count them down. So Greg got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 points, yeah.
I was
got
8,
1,
yeah.
2, 3,
4.
I got 4 points.
And I got 3.
And you got 3. Mm-hmm.
I nearly caught you up, Nick. Embarrassing
Nearly.
from both of us.
But we got our big hitters on there. Red Steel, F1, Lost Winds.
But Greg can take out one of our not so big hitters. Greg, which one are you going to get rid of?
I don't feel like a winner. Whenever Lost Winds came out, I thought there's a candidate, but there's no way I can get rid of that now. Twilight Princess, it stays. It's obviously a good Zelda game, but it's probably one of my least favourite 3D ones. Red Steel can stay because of the enjoyment I had out of it.
Good call.
Don't you dare
I haven't
touch
played
Tiger
Guitar
Woods.
Hero, so obviously I can't touch F1 2009. It's locked in, so it's between Tiger Woods and Guitar Hero. Wii Sports is already there for that golf fix, whereas we don't have a rhythm game. Guitar Hero can stay. Bye Tiger Woods.
Oh,
You cheating scumbag.
class game. So what are you going to fill its space with? A game that you've already said and didn't get in? Springs to mind Metroid Prime 3.
Mario Strikers.
Super Mario Galaxy is the best game that isn't on there, but Galaxy 2 is already on there, so I kind of think we'll be okay with just the second one. Would love Wii Sports Resort on there. Would love Punch Out on there. Would love Strikers. Would love Donkey Kong Country on there. We've already got our shooting fix with Red Steel, haven't we?
5 minutes of it, yeah.
Screw it. The list's a joke anyway. Super Mario Strikers is going on because that's pretty much the first online game I'd ever really played and got into, and such an amazing time playing it.
Yep.
Wii tournaments and stuff. So good.
Are there, before we sign off, any honourable mentions that didn't make your list, that should have and could have, that should have at least been taken over from Guitar Hero 3, for example?
Well, as you probably noticed, I didn't say Twilight Princess, Mario Galaxy 2, Resident Evil 4. Didn't say Metroid Prime 3 or Trilogy. I only put on games.
Guess who's not coming back again?
I took a different approach to it this time, and I put on simply my favorite, most played, and favorite Wii games.
Enjoyable games.
So yeah, I mean, I played Prime Trilogy, but I only finished the first game. Twilight Princess is not the best Zelda game on reflection, even though I did kind of enjoy it at the time. I remember having so much fun with the Red Steel. It was so good at the time. So that's why it's on the list. Sorry.
And your homework now is to go and play Red Steel just to see if it holds up.
I actually don't have a copy of it anymore.
Greg, any honourable mentions?
I've got a few. Obviously, I said Link's Crossbow Training earlier.
Yeah, it's a good one.
I would also said Trauma Center as well.
Yes,
very good.
But I prefer the DS version.
Yeah, same here.
Which is why.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, because obviously a lot more tactile with the stylus. Pro Evo 2011, like there's obviously they got pretty similar towards like the last year, pretty much the same game. But 2011 was the one I probably liked the most. It's such a different take on football. Like there are some wee bits that are awkward, but brilliant game. Kirby's Epic Yarn.
Yeah, great game. That's on one of my honourable mentions.
Didn't really appreciate that when I first sort of went through it, but then whenever I went back for all the extra items and stuff and unlocking everything, like I had such a good time. House of the Dead Overkill obviously made it on to our list. 2 and 3 are fantastic as well. In terms of WiiWare, I never really got on with like the NES version of Excite Bike, but Excite Bike World Challenge on WiiWare is a legitimately great.
Yeah, that was great. Yeah, I remember that. Good stuff.
And also my last one, Contra Rebirth.
Oh, I would love to play that.
Which is another WiiWare title. Absolutely brilliant.
They should be bringing all these over to the eShop, shouldn't they?
They should.
Actually, honourable mention from me is the Sega Genesis, Sega Mega Drive, because the Wii was the first time I ever played any Sega games.
Anyone's
and obviously,
in particular that caught your
well, I mean,
attraction?
I'd played Sonic at a friend's house, obviously.
Yeah.
Everyone in the early 90s, but no, it was my favourite games on that were Streets of Rage, obviously.
Great.
Rise Star was really good. I really enjoyed Rise Star. What else? What was it called? Dynamite Heady was quite fun. It was what was the other one by Treasure? The other shooter, Gunstar Heroes. What
Heroes,
a game that was! Yeah.
I picked that one up on the 3DS.
How good was the Wii Virtual Console?
It was incredible, wasn't it?
It even had Commodore 64 games on it for
Yeah.
Few honourable mentions for me, and very, very quickly is Muramasa, the 2D platformer and action platformer, the Demon Blade. Grand Slam Tennis.
Yes,
this
good game.
cartoony tennis game. I really enjoyed playing my way through that. Didn't play it enough.
I don't like
Oh,
it.
you didn't like it?
No.
It's been beaten now by Mario Tennis Aces, thankfully.
Oh yeah.
And my last one was Dead Space Extraction, the on-rails Dead Space shooter. I had a lot of fun with that too.
Never played that one.
It was one of those games. The Dead Space came out on the Xbox 360, is that right? Yes. And
yeah, it was.
I said,
good.
We can't do this, we can't do that. And then they had an on-rail shooter, but it was one of those games that introduced all the kind of decapitation, and you can chop their legs off, and dismemberment, and it held up very well, and it got the atmosphere correct as well. And even though it was an on-rail shooter, good. Okay.
And if you've got any complaints about our top 15, directly to @Londragon_UK on Twitter.
Thanks, Greg. Yes, any complaints, any questions as well, fire them across to us. Lee at nintendoreview.co.uk, our Twitter account at Nintendo_review, and our Facebook page Nintendo Review. And it's been a pleasure again, boys. I always enjoy hosting. It's a far different experience. It's been a pleasure having you back, Nick.
No, welcome. Thank you. It was fun.
And always a pleasure, Greg.
No doubt.
Thanks, everybody, and bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the Nintendo Review Podcast. If you like our content, please don't forget to subscribe, give us a like, and ask us a question. You can find this very podcast on all good podcast providers such as iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, Stitcher, TuneIn, and YouTube. Just search for the Nintendo Review Podcast. We are also on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Discord, YouTube, and our very own website nintendoreview.co.uk, where you'll find great content such as news, reviews, and impressions. Drop by and say hello. Podcast extras! Extras! Podcast extras! Extras! Are you recording, Greg?
Not yet.
Do
you know, it won't let me record while I'm on Skype.
Ah.
Avoid legal snags by telling people you are recording. I'm recording, guys.
Okay, good man.
Right, sorry, that was 2. First one was a bit weak.
2 is better than 1. And Capcom... Oh, let me stop. I'm going to delete that, because we're going to talk about that later. I should have... Anyway. You cut out then for me now, and Greg.
I wasn't even saying anything, really.
Okay. That's why, then.
Oh, hang on. I'm going.
Yeah, you cut off a wee bit there, like, couldn't hear anything.
You went all fuzzy for a bit, both of you then, boys. So what did... Oh, it's gone fuzzy again, boys. I know. Can you hear me?
Do-do-do-do-do.